It's a pleasant Sunday morning to you all. Welcome to the program. It's Sunday morning live on FM here in the studios of OGBC 90.5 in Abeokuta. Today, Sunday, the 13th day in the month of April, year of our Lord 2025. It's Palm Sunday. Yes, Palm Sunday. For all of us who are Christians, some of us who rush down to the church, and those who are into the Asalatu will keep on praying to the Almighty Allah. That is the essence of worshiping one's Creator. In today's edition of the program, I want to take a look at issue of national importance, and our topic today has been healing the nation and building lasting inter-ethnic harmony in Nigeria. You agree with me that on the 1st of October this year, Nigeria will clock 65 nation. After being colonized by the British, different ethnic groups were brought together as a federation, with the capital then in Lagos, now in Abuja. Nigeria has a very rough path after independence due to issues of national importance. At a point, there was a 13-month of brutal civil war between July 1967 and January 1970. And since then, the national reintegration, national reorientation have begun and have been working strongly to make Nigeria a united country. As we speak, we have over 400 ethnic groups and nationalities in different parts of the country. All are working for the survival of their lives and of the country at large. So this morning, we want to look at how do we coexist peacefully? How do we work together as brothers and sisters? When you take a look at one of the stanzas of the national pledge, I don't want to quote it again because I'll be quoting it separately. You and I will agree with me that unity of the country is played at the very high in that national pledge. Even the current national anthem, where it talks about unity of Nigerians. So this morning, I have in the studios as our guest who will talk on all this is the Senior Special Assistant to His Excellency Governor Dapo Abiodun on Inter-Ethnic Affairs, and is equally the Secretary Arewa Committee in Southern Nigeria. I'm talking of no other person than Prince Hadi Sani. Prince Hadi Sani has a very large journey in education. He has his first and second degrees, and as we speak, he's in view to peace and conflict issues, and he has been a very religious person, a prayer warrior, a community leader, and a family man. Welcome to the series of OGBC.
Thank you so much. Good morning, audience.
Well, you know that this God is a wonderful God. While Christians were having their Lenten period, which is yet to end, the Muslims began and ended their own holy month of Ramadan. What does that teach us as individuals and as members of the community?
Thank you so much. Good morning, viewers, once again. Nigeria is a heterogeneous community, society as it may be, with over 250 population and over 500 ethnic groups. And prior to the amalgamation of Southern and Northern particular of 1914, we had so many sub-ethnic groups that existed. And agree with me, by the virtue of the question you just asked now, God naturally bind us together to be independent. It has been done automatically without any fusion. So as it has happened, it is left us maintaining that. When you compare issue of having Lent and Ramadan at the same time, just perspective. You can also look it from economic perspective, from our consumption tendencies that God in his wisdom that he put into existence that makes us interdependent to each other by the virtue of commodity like livestock, like cola nuts. God in his wisdom domicile massive production of cola nut in southern Nigeria. But unfortunately, the consumption of that commodity is in another part of Nigeria. And he also made some commodities like livestock, like foodstuff in another part of the country, which also have a significant massive consumption in the southern part of the country. This automatically bind the two regions together. Prior to the independence, there has been interregional trading. This bring about economic migration, which remain a significant element that unite the country. You find northerners in southern Nigeria, find southerners in northern part of the country. And we as peace builders, we understand that it is a natural phenomenon, no matter how complicated issues become, by the virtue of our little knowledge of history, that we might be facing challenges. In the long run, there is a huge possibility of resolution. To a layman, if you see a crisis, maybe some people died, some people are agreed, it might be, yes, it is over. But by virtue of our knowledge, if there's a problem, while you are solving the immediate problem, you are also foreseeing the end product and how you should make sure you reconcile both parties. We have so many instances that can justify that as a study of history. If you like a case study of the Second World War, casualty of over 50 million casualties across both civilian and non-civilian. The entire world was tense that there is no single same secure environment they can sit and discuss the peace talk. The peace talk and peace treaty was signed on a moving train. That tells you no matter how bad things are, some people should take it as responsibility that if they can resolve this matter. I will come down to African case study. We have Rwandan genocide of 1994, which was between Tutsi and Hutsi governments. It was extremely terrifying, but in the process, in the long run, it was been able to be resolved to the extent that the government made a law that you cannot even ascribe yourself to any ethnic group. You cannot say I'm Tutsi or I'm Hutu.
Can that be possible in Nigeria?
It is possible. I will also come down to Nigeria. If you take a case study of Biafran civil war, it has a huge number of casualties. When that war was going on, and at the end of it, when it was going on, over 2 million upward casualties. Could you ever believe the southeasterners in the north? That tells you there is hope of reconciliation. So I gave you this background. These are extreme end of challenges that you can ever think of. These are challenges that has millions of casualties, but with dedication, with determination, that we are able to come together. So that tells you whatsoever challenges you are seeing, do not just give up and start castigating total disintegration.
Now, let me quickly pick it from this perspective. You made reference to the Rwandan genocide of 1994 between the Tutsis and the Hutus. These are just two ethnic groups. In case of Nigeria, you have said over 250 ethnic groups. Ours is multifaceted. Theirs are just two major ethnic groups. Don't you think it will be easier to succeed in a micro level compared to our own that is a macro?
Thank you. It all depends on the leadership and administration. By the wisdom of our colonial masters and nationalists, like Amadu Bello, like Mafia Awolowo, like Nnamdi Azikiwe, we are able to come, we are operating a quasi-federal system such that what happened in a certain segment of the country will have a significant part of the country. A resources domiciled in a region will have effect on the other region. Like maybe pre-independent or early independence before oil boom, we have a lot of agricultural income idea from the other part of the country, which was wealth. Currently, we have a lot of oil wealth from south part of the country, which was managed across the country. So that tells you that we put in place a structure of government that will bind everybody together. Nothing is impossible. It all depends on the nature of administration. And by you will see there are some policies that determine the nature. People will just see them, people might castigate them, we do not really understand the extent of the effectiveness of those policies. Take a case study of NYC. NYC, if you do not have a historical understanding of what it means, you might just see it as a normal program, people can just say, just scrap this program and give these people their stipend and let them go and start their life. But if you happen to have a national exposure, like me, a case study of me now, whenever I'm having a brief discussion with some maybe directors of government officials or civil servants or educated allied that went through the process so many years ago, maybe 10, 20, 30 years ago, when you start discussing with them, you end up hearing that I served in Kano, I served in Jigawa, I served in Katsina. They used to be good people. You understand? That has given us an avenue to understand ourselves better. It is a policy put in place by the government to unite the tendencies. It's all a matter of orientation. And as I said, the economic migration we had, it's not difficult because we are many. So far, those policies bring us together. We will understand the diversity and see the strength in diversity. Diversity bring about division of labor and specialization, that I'm able to know that you are good in that aspect and I'm also good in this aspect.
Then, Prince, what really is our problem in this country? What really is our problem? If the federal government in 1973, 3 years after the end of the Civil War, under General Yakubu Gowon, believed that if national orient policies like the National Youth Service Corps, the National Sports Fest, and the rest of them can be birthed in this country to reunite and reorientate Nigerians, then what really is our problem? Why are we still fighting? Why are we still killing ourselves?
Thank you so much. You've made mention of some integration policies. We still have policies like unity schools.
Surely.
They also play a huge role in unification of several heterogeneous tendencies we have in our country. And as I always say, the intellectuals will have a better understanding on ethnic diversity and why we keep having crisis. If you see a crisis, there's a divergent way you can define it. Theoretically, we have primordial theory of ethnicity that people naturally tend to, no matter what, an average Hausa man will tell you, an average Yoruba man will tell you I'm Yoruba. It's not a crime. It has been proven scientifically that there is no way someone can naturally abandon his ethnic nationality. Whatsoever the case may be, no matter how careful you are, a point in time there is that tendency that we portrayed in you. So that is natural. But the disastrous element of human, it is the instrumental or constructive to ethnicity. That is when we construct it to our selfish desire. Instrumental to ethnicity. That when we use our ethnicity or religion as an instrument to exploitation.
Now, what is the role of the political class in all this?
Political class at the apex of the problem. Certainly, a leader must take responsibility for whatsoever policy, for whatsoever decision, for whatsoever mentality the citizens are having. The political class and the government are the coordinating sector of this mentality. Government are responsible to decolonize a kind of the tribalistic mentality of average Nigerian for them to unite us.
Don't you see Nigerians more ethnically biased than nationally biased?
I said you cannot condemn that because it has been proven not within Nigerian context, globally, scientifically. There are school of thought. There are school of thought specifically that conducted a scientific research and tell you that no matter how careful, no matter how nationalistic, no matter how patriotic you are, there is a tendency of that tribal element in you. At the point in time, you say I'm Yoruba, it's not a crime.
Yes.
When it becomes a crime is when you inject the instrumentalism into it, when you start constructing it to your advantage, to political exploitation, economic exploitation, personal exploitation. That is when it becomes a problem. We know we cannot subjugate, we cannot eliminate that totality. That is the primordial, that's natural tendency. But it can be mitigated
To an extent.
to an extent for the purpose of the general public.
Now, because they already are blinking, people want to ask questions and seek clarifications from you. But let me quickly ask you: is it true that some ethnic groups are not really tolerant in this discourse?
Yes,
How can we now make them to be tolerant?
tolerance has to do with an extent of education
Hmm.
and public enlightenment. And I will charge our government more to invest in educating our youth, educating them academically and even religious education. Some people do not really have a clear perspective of Western and religious education. That is when you start analyzing extremism into human relation. So you cannot deny that. And I will government also need to do more, maybe through national education agencies and other activities to get people more enlightened in terms of tolerance.
Well, please, Sani, let's just take a pause and we'll take from some few calls this morning. 0803 437 9453 0815 Our first caller is on the line. Quite an age, man. Good morning to you. Thanks for calling, man. Very fine, man. I've been fasting. I have been fasting. Today is Palm Sunday. Yes, man. And you too, man. And you too, man. Yes. Thank you very much, Mrs. Egbeyemi. She raised a very genuine point. And you are going to respond to that because call starts income. Let's say like 4 5. Then you respond to that. She has raised the issue of education imbalancing. So I'm going to note that one and then you are going to respond much later. 0034379453. Good morning to you. Yes, sir. Your name. Thanks for calling, sir. I'd like to thank you very much for your time with us this morning. 0803-437-9453, 0815032026. We're looking at the bridging the gap and making Nigeria a more united country. Enough of ethnic skirmishes here and there. And that's why we have brought the special assistant to the governor on inter-ethnic issue in Ogun State to the studios this morning. Good morning to you, sir. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olatunji Ajayi. He said, no to tribalism, no to ethnicity. We need to move the country forward. And that's why we are in the studio this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Wally. I'm Hadi. I just read yesterday house. It's this way of meeting the gap in Nigeria one. It's a big task. That despite people who programs of these leaders own portion of the movement. And when they get there, leaders are still our problem because of greed for power, because of greed for money, because they want to be everywhere. They want to do it more, and then they don't want to leave the stage in time. It's very, very difficult to deal with this. I am angry because I don't have to vote because I need man. You can just imagine. We hate each other. We are not so attractive to one another. We do it like this or whatever. And instead of expressing the spirit of acceptance or acceptance or among us, what we normally do is that we do it by eye services. And we don't really judgment and giving the benefit of others to another. You see, I don't have any doubt that it can be won. But look at what is happening from the north down. They are bringing people to come and put problem on some places where there's no problem at all. And you can see a lot of things happening where, bad things happening elsewhere, where things, where peace has been probably enjoyed for a long time. These are the things our leaders has been our problem for. We need true leadership which will speak truth with love and sensitivity. But unfortunately, what do we have? Hatred. We have I don't want this, I want this. It is this person that's supposed to be it and not this one. It's supposed to be so. Even the fact that your best class, dealt with a lot of issues this morning. In fact, I am so of condition that I'm supposed to have left this country, but I just want to die here. I'm telling you, I love Nigeria, but our leaders has made the pain of our problem.
Thank you very much, Kadi, for your time this morning. Thank God that people like you are not living in Nigeria so that we can stay together and rebuild the nation and make it the El Dorado all of us are craving for. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Wale.
Comrade, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time, but you have been fasting, right?
Yes.
In fact, I can see you are fasting, Wale. Thank you. Good morning, our resource person.
Good morning, sir.
Let us face facts.
Okay.
For what they are. Now, in Nigeria, there may never be unity as long as our disunity is one of the steps by which people get into governance and remain there. Because when you keep the people perpetually divided, you start to profit from the disunity. And that is what the politicians are doing. 1, 2, let us, in all sincerity, acknowledge what dons. You are to unite today. Let the churches start preaching, let the mosque start, and there may not be unity, but there may be, the step towards unity when religious organizations incorporate unity into their doctrines and their dogmas. In a situation in which you have a certain religious organization, the big one, which has the board of governors, the GO, and everything from a particular ethnic group, believe me very sincerely, that church or that organization cannot preach unity to anybody. Let us believe that. Now, when we are talking about education, the education we have in Nigeria is dysfunctional. It is not serving the interest of the Nigerian society. Because yes, the outcome of education needs not just overhauling, the complete change. And in that change, incorporates the concept of unity. And one of the things that believe that really working against unity in this country is that once you not a particular group, the other group is not willing to accept you. And so you are ensconced in your own group or with ethnic group, yes, in your tribe. Your Yoruba man has been very big. Everybody, and if you ask me, the volume of those who want to come to Yoruba land may not be, please mark the way, may not be as high as those Yorubas who want to go elsewhere. The average Yoruba man is homebound, is home-based.
Okay.
Wherever he goes, he retains the link with home. And
Comrade,
yes,
please let's allow the guests to expatiate more. You have raised some vital points.